I want to say a hearty thank you to anybody that supported the channel. Basically, the support for it through PayPal is only on the BitChute channel, not on YouTube, and it's Synergy7, SYY Energy 7. I just want to point out something. On the SITEPAD software, which is actually very, very common to a lot of the sites, because you can see on the top, not showing it right here. I put a custom icon on mine. It's got a little cannon, but they'll have this SITEPAD logo. You'll see it's very common software. But what I found out, I was using a Windows 7 computer that had only 4 gigs of RAM in it, and when I was doing some of these pages, the pages were, when you look at them on the web, they load up nice and quick. But in the SITEPAD software, to update some of this stuff was taking forever. As a matter of fact, the ones on the Sons of America Revolution, where I have like 160 something articles in a page, boy, they were taking forever. It was taking me a half an hour to get in there. So what I did was upgrade it to RAM. Also upgraded the drive. I put a terabyte drive, which is a fairly good size, and I put 8 gigs of RAM versus 4, which was kind of a pain in the butt. It was on a Lenovo. Usually it's simple as crap, but it's on a Lenovo laptop. You had to take the keyboard out, and the keyboard had a little secret screw on the back under a compartment that you had to unscrew it to take out. But I got it in there, and the SITEPAD software is much, much, much faster when you're upgrading or editing something, because these pages are starting to get loaded up. The more you put on a page, the slower the SITEPAD software gets. So, maybe eventually I might have to go to like another computer that's faster with 16 gigs of RAM or 32 gigs of RAM or something to update some of these pages as they load them up with these articles. But I also put on there some of the, like this one here. I thought it was good. I did it for these separate logos for a lot of the camps and stuff. I use Confederate Warrior because you're supposed to be a warrior for truth today. Remember, it's your duty to see that the true history of the South is presented to future generations. That was from Lieutenant General Stephen Dill Lee back in 1906 from the United Confederate Veterans. So we're descendants of Confederates. We're not Confederate veterans. But it was good. This is a good one-pager. It says most of these men had no stately mansions, no slaves to plow and plant their fields, no stocks or investments in interest-bearing funds. They were not rebels or traitors in obeying their state sovereignty. They knew it was lawful to take up arms under the mandates authorized by the federal constitution to repel invasion. They were honest and eager patriots in their convictions, who knew they were right to defend their native land, its soils, its altars, its homes, and firesides in its honor from a ruthless invader to Sherman. So they fought with devout confidence and courage, which was unconquerable save by starvation, blockade, and overwhelming numbers and death. They were poor but proudly patriotic and indomitably brave. They faithfully followed leaders whom they trusted and honored. Of these men, their beloved leader, General Robert E. Lee, once said during the last winter on the lines, "The men of this war who deserve the most honor and gratitude are not the men of rank, but the men of the ranks, the privates." So I have a version of I have actually separate logos for some of the camps around here. Like this is also the Georgia camp. I don't know if they like this logo, but I made this logo. It's hard to find. Lieutenant Colonel Thomas M. Nelson's Rangers, Albany, Georgia, SCV 141, and we got the mechanized cavalry, which is the Harley Davidson people. I'm in that too. And we got a ghosted. So I've been working on this, and actually normally to put a lot more files on here is a very, very time-consuming process, and it literally cut the time in way less than half to do this, to update this site yesterday, due to the extra RAM I put on the computer. So this logo, actually, I really liked how this came out. This is the Private William Riley Milton camp. They're the camp that's really closest to defending the Kirby Smith statue that's coming down at the Lake County in the museum. So they are pretty much tasked with that, but everybody is. So, and I also want to point out that, because I had one black woman make a comment on one of the videos. Like, I had put these videos up at the Florida Division reunion, and she goes, "Why do you hate us? We don't hate anybody." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Wait a minute. We don't hate anybody. What is going on here?" See, this is the media. The media is freaking lying about what the Confederates are about. As a matter of fact, you're hearing like the Confederates are being compared to Nazis, and that's freaking really, really horrible to make that statement. It's the exact opposite of the truth. And it was descendants, like the grandsons of Confederates, who were in the Army and the Marine Corps and the Navy and the Air Force, that fought the Nazis and defeated them. And now we're being blamed. See, this is how now we're being blamed for being Nazis? The total opposite. After being, like Nathan Bedford Forrest's grandson, he was killed on a bombing mission over Germany in World War II. You know? So, and also you notice, like, nobody really buys into this COVID-19. We're doing a social distancing here. Yeah, right, sure. Masks, no way. You know? So, but nobody, well, whether what you believe what the war was about or what the South fought for, I'll tell you, every single person at this meeting does not believe that the South fought for slavery. Nobody believes that at this meeting. That's just how it is. So, and this is the 1861 flag, "In God We Trust," Florida. That's was the Confederate flag for Florida, believe it or not. 3 bars and blue on a canton and the same Florida seal. And God, oh, actually, "God is our trust." I think it is. I think that's what it is. Florida. So I'm not sure if they got the right version on here. Hopefully that's correct. But I've been doing a lot of work on this, and when I upgraded to RAM, the work I had to do was infinitely easier because it sped up everything. And as a matter of fact, I also have a page on here, pro-Southern, pro-Confederate music. So we have, is it going to load or what? It's off my YouTube channel. It's off this channel, actually. Red Dirt Roads and Put the Skeeter to 'Em Boys, Nathan Bedford Forrest, Southern Anthem. Here Comes the Alabama, which is a Confederate Raider. And I'll get another one on here too. I got to get some more, just a few more I have to do. But you know, if you're ever looking for Confederate songs, 4 of them are on here so far. And there's also some forums and stuff too. Like if you look at, we got the Albany camps. And I put the Albany camp as their website up on here too. Basically, it makes it more cost effective. And a website is way better than a Facebook page, because I don't have Facebook, and every time I go to a freaking Facebook page, I get this big block, log in now, or it's got this thing across the bottom, and I'm like, this is stupid. And then half the stuff you say on Facebook, they ban you or something, you know, you can't even say nothing. So better off having a website. But there's a lot of articles up here, and actually on the bottom here I put Sons of Confederate Veterans member application, and this was Division Life membership. Now right now I'm really like down on money because I'm not working in accounting that much like I was, and but I put in for this. It's going out today. Application for that was $225, man. So I'll be a life member at the national level and also at the Florida Division level. And there will be a page. There's going to be another page on this website that is going to have CSA Officer Corps or officers, and I'm going to put, you know, a little bit more history about them. Because right now the popular thing is that the Confederacy, well, you see, the media is doing this. The media is doing this to max. It's amazing. These people are criminals in the media. But I'm going to put some little tidbits about, you know, Nathan Bedford Forrest. The guy actually, at the end of the war, he was pro-black. He was a white guy. You know, Nathan Bedford Forrest is a white guy, but he's pro-black civil rights. even against what the Union wanted, a Southern Confederate. And this is the guy they freaking really hammered a lot. He was like, well, he had a lot of blacks that fought with him in the cavalry, so he got a lot of respect for him, and he really was pro-black. He was very much for civil rights and everything. But they don't tell you that today. So when I put this Confederate officer page up, it's going to have that stuff in here. And hopefully it won't be so hard to do now, because part of the reason was the computer. I know when I was using the old XP computer with the 2 megs of RAM, that thing was slow. But I like using it. The thing is, now I can't even use it because the browser got so outdated that I can't even log into my web host provider. I'm probably going to have to, I'm a guy that I was really into upgrading computers and having the latest, greatest for a long period of time. Until after a while, I saw what a freaking racket this is. I usually get, like, the last few laptops I got were used, that were reconditioned, refurbished or something, had new hard drives in them, and they were Lenovo's, which is a pretty good brand. It used to be IBM, now it's made in China. But it's an upgrade game. Actually, the memory I'm ordering for the other laptop costs $33 for 8 gigs, and it's high quality memory, but it's not brand new. It's just been tested, and it's from a preferred vendor and all this kind of crap. So, and you can read, whatever, about us, our pro-freedom of message. So, and here it says freedom and independence. So I kind of have a hodgepodge of things on this. This isn't actually the official Marion County Marion Light Artillery SCV 1396 website, but in a way it is. In some ways, it's a mixture of things. But all these things are interrelated. The battle, 1776 and the Confederate Southern cause are linked together. And 90-something% of Confederates fighting at that time, they thought in their minds they're fighting for the same reasons that their forefathers broke away from England. And it wasn't because of slavery, it was because of the heavy taxation that they passed. I know some people say, no, no, no. Well, whatever you freaking want to believe, fine. But the thing is, you can't attack people for fighting for what they believe and then accuse them and say that they actually believe in something different. And then people generations later who fought against the Nazis then accuse them of being Nazis after you sacrificed death by death and extreme hardship, and then they accuse you of being the thing that you were fought against. That's just like the epitome of evil. And that's what the media is. So, and on YouTube, they don't even let you say it 99% of what needs to be said, but a lot of it's up here on the website. So if you want to look at it, it's MarionLightArtillery, all one word. You can probably see that up there. You say it's all one word.com. And this is probably going to be, right now, it is definitely one of the stronger SCV websites. I don't know if it's the best one in the world, but it's one of the stronger ones. And we got a lot of hard-hitting facts on here, like Lincoln's Marxist. Basically, the South was fighting against Marxism in a deep state back then. That's what was going on. There's a lot of corruption going on. Here we have, I don't know if we have it here someplace. It's on another page. As a matter of fact, about J.P. Morgan, what he said about Lincoln. In 1864, J.P. Morgan was 27 years old. This is pretty revealing. I supported President Lincoln. I believe this war policy would be the only way to save the country, but I see my mistake. I visited Washington a few weeks ago and saw the corruption of the present administration, and so long as Abraham Lincoln and his cabinet are in power, so long will the war continue. Basically, it's all about money. And for what? And for what? For the preservation of the Constitution and the Union? But no, for the sake of politicians and government contractors. Now, this is a picture of J.P. Morgan when he was older, but he stated this back when he was 27, when he was in 1864, when he was only 27. So you got to watch. You know, a man always has two reasons for doing anything: a good reason and a real reason. So in other words, you have a reason that sounds good, but then you have the real reason. Usually it's money. So, and basically Lincoln was a corporate attorney for the big money railroads, so that's really what it is. And he was very, very, very unpopular in the North too, Lincoln. It was a few decades later when they started changing, making him into this demigod. But basically the reason they made him into a demigod is because he is the power of the state. In other words, he was the one, well, the front man. Other powers were behind the scenes pushing him to make the presidency a very, very, very strong executive branch that can do things without the legislature's approval. That's really what Lincoln set the precedent for. All that's unconstitutional, but what are you gonna do about it, man? It's gotten so freaking bad that Americans are too scared to do anything, and it's even tough to get things going with the SCV because in his club, it's almost like there's people that do a lot of stuff, and there's other people that basically just go to lunch and pat themselves on the back, and they feel important because their ancestor did something. You know, it depends on who it is. You know, depends on who it is. This guy right here, he's a go-getter with the drums. He's a go-getter, big time. And actually, anybody who was at these events is a go-getter, like 1, 2, 3. But a lot of people don't. He's a good guy. He's got a cannon and stuff, and you know. But the thing is, there's a lot of people that are in the SCV and they don't do nothing. That's one of the problems, you know. And we also have a blog up here, and there's no events coming up because this COVID garbage. You know, we had well, this went. This was okay. I went to that, and some of these things. This got canceled. Stone Mountain got canceled, and this got canceled too. The Evergreen Cemetery Memorial, that got canceled. This guy can't. No. Yeah, this got canceled too. This got canceled. This got canceled too. Heritage Day Baker House. But you can see I put up all these good, wonderful stuff with the images where it is, and you know, I'm more thorough than the average cookie out there. But I could be making as a staff accountant in this area. And that's a staff accountant. I'm way above that, $65,000 a year, and instead I'm freaking making nothing doing this stuff for the SCV. But you know, so any contributions you can make, I'd appreciate it very much. I'm, you know, I'm pretty much. I really realize what the truth is, and pretty much what the truth is the exact opposite of what the media tells you. Whatever they're pushing, think the opposite. Pretty much you'll be pretty safe with that. But, you know, getting back to, you know, upgrading on the computers, I appreciate any help I got over there because this upgrading that RAM made a huge difference. I was surprised. I didn't think it was going to make that much of a difference. Sometimes, you know, they make a little bit of a difference, but it makes a huge difference. So, you know, I'm assuming if I had like a 16 gig RAM computer with more powerful processor and stuff, maybe an SSD freaking hard drive, maybe the freaking thing, maybe I'd really be able to do a lot more with this website and stuff and put a lot more information on it, because as it is, it's limited to how many articles you can stick up here. But you know, we shall see. But you know, and I have been continuing on with using the HHO units, which is a separate topic. I want to tell you, I think there's something to that stuff, well beyond what you would ever believe. But the only way I'm going to find out is to actually do it. You know, I might actually reverse age, literally. We'll find out. Now, wouldn't that be wild if these Confederates were alive today? You know, I think what happened is when the last of the Confederates died off in the, you know, the 40s and 50s, that's when they, not many years later, they started the big push to change history, you know. And there's evil people behind changing history and altering history. And as a matter of fact, the history taught in the government schools has never really been accurate or complete. It's a matter of fact, it's you know, when you look at history writers of books, they get grants for money, and if they write the wrong thing, they don't get the grant, so they don't get paid. This is why a lot of times history is buried. And it's not just a matter of history, it's a matter of who's covering up what, because they're connected right now financially, right, and they're doing the same kind of rackets they are today as they did back then. And I can't say too much on here because this is YouTube after all, but if you visit the website, you will actually see a lot more information. I'll explain a lot more. Anyway, over and out, and appreciate all the help I got. So, you know, the upgrades on the computers really, it helped. It helped a lot. And hopefully it helped with processing these videos, because that's another thing. Sometimes to process these videos, not even just to upload them, could take 2.5, 3 hours. That's a freaking long time. Anyway, over and out. Thank you.